Let's bring in right now Democratic Senator Shaheen of New Hampshire. Senator, I know you've been around politics for a long time. I mean, I'm the first to tell people don't catastrophize. I'm not catastrophizing here. I just see what they're saying about anybody who disagrees with them, and they're labeling them as people who, quote, hate America. How do we pull them back from this ledge that they are trying to push America to?
Well, you know, Joe, I remember that's the kind of rhetoric that was used against people who were marching for civil rights, for students' rights, for women's rights, people who were marching against the war in Vietnam, peaceful protests to say we want to exercise what is a foundation of our democracy and our Constitution, the right of freedom to assembly, to peacefully protest if we disagree with the policies of this country. And for the Speaker of the House and other Republican leaders to say that this is all about hating America is a lack of understanding of what America is all about. It's one of the things that makes this country great and different from Viktor Orban's Hungary and Vladimir Putin's Russia and Xi's China, that we can peacefully protest. And we need our political leadership to stand up and say, even when we don't agree with you, we believe you have the right to do that.
And we should underscore that the first round of No Kings protests were indeed peaceful, and there's real fear amongst our organizers that if some violence is provoked at one of them this time around, the administration will use that as an excuse for further crackdown. Senator Shaheen, let's turn to the government shutdown. There's been some reporting from Axios and others that you're actually one of the leaders of a quiet negotiations to try to get this thing resolved. Can you report any progress to us?
Well, I think there are a lot of people on both sides of the aisle who are talking to each other about the need to open government and address this imminent crisis that so many people are facing, being able to afford their health insurance because they're going to see their rates more than double in a lot of cases to unaffordable costs, and they're going to have to lose their health insurance. So I think those talks have been productive. But what we need is the leadership in the Senate on both sides of the aisle, in the House. We need the president to all sit down and negotiate, because that's how we reach compromise. That's how we get things done. And I think the members in both the House and Senate are frustrated with where we are because that hasn't happened yet.
And Senator, you're the ranking member on the Foreign Relations Committee. No shortage of things going on in that realm right now. Obviously, the deal in Gaza this week, the president saying yesterday that he's authorized CIA operations in Venezuela. But also want to get you on tomorrow, if you will, President Zelensky of Ukraine coming to the White House. So what's perceived by many as potentially a pivotal meeting, the U.S. considering giving some more longer-range weapons to Kyiv.
Well, I hope so. The president's rhetoric has been more positive about supporting Ukraine in this fight against Russia and the unprovoked war that Vladimir Putin is inflicting on the courageous Ukrainian people. So I hope that the president is going to provide those long-range weapons that President Zelensky is requesting. But the Senate also needs to act. We need to pass those sanctions that have been on the table, that have over 85 co-sponsors. They've been on the table for months now. The Graham-Blumenthal sanctions package that would invoke severe secondary sanctions on Russia. We need to take action against the shadow fleet that is funding Russia's war. We need to take action against China that's also enabling Russia's war machine. And so far, what we've heard is radio silence from the president in support of those sanctions and from the leadership in the Senate, from Senator Thune.
All right, ranking member of the Foreign Relations Committee, Democratic Senator Shaheen of New Hampshire. Thank you very much.
Thank you.